G'day guys, welcome back again. I'm going to do little mini flip cups again, similar to this little one that I did the other day. Hopefully you saw that, where I did the 7 mini flip cups and I had the white negative space. So similar to that, but I'm going with this lovely dark orange negative space. So we'll see how that goes. I don't see why we always have to use white or black. We can change it up, do lots of different colours, eh? Righto, pouring medium, same as what I've been using recently, 60% glue, 40% water. Put 600 grams of glue in there and 400 grams of water. I weigh it all so that I know I get consistent results every time, and just give it a big shake up. Righto, so I've only got a little bit of paint because I've only got these little cups. These are medicine cups. They're 30 cc's or 1 fluid ounce or 13 milliliters, so that's them there. And I've made up 20 grams of pouring medium and 20 grams of paint for these ones. The turquoise, I had to add a little bit of extra water, same with the white. The yellow and the orange, sorry, wrong way around. That I had to add more paint to. That I had to add more water to. These I had to add a little bit of water to as well. And this one I did 90 grams of pouring medium and 70 grams of paint. Leaves just a tiny little mound. Not as much as these guys here, because I want the background to be able to flow easier. I'm going to add just 1 drop of treadmill silicone because there's not a lot of paint here, so just 1 drop. Actually, if I do 2 and then not do the black and white, how's that? I'll do that. And none in this background one. It's got quite a lot of bubbles in it. I've only just made it up, so it's quite frothy. Hopefully it'll be alright. Sometimes if you bang them like that, the bubbles come to the surface and they just pop. Not all the time, sometimes. So I'm starting with a little bit of this red. Need to have some in there, just so that it will blend with the background colour. Just a little bit. So I've probably got enough to do another pour actually, even though I only made up 20 grams of pouring medium and 20 grams of paint. I've still got quite a lot of paint. Well, this one feels a bit thick. I'm not used to pouring such little amounts out. And then with my aqua green, this one's thinner. That black was a little bit thick. Black's always thick. Black and white, I find, is always thicker than the other colours. And I tend to put a little bit of water in those. And then the yellow. I didn't want the yellow next to the black because I get that, you know, awful greenish colour. So I'll just put it with the green colour anyway. Oh dear. Never mind. And some white. I have a good amount of white. My pours, I always lose the white for some reason. Vanishes. And turquoise, I'm going to go from up high. So I'd like that to blend nicely. Hope I've got enough. Oh dear. Alright, I have to scrape this out. I should have enough. It's only a little cup. Have to get it all out of that last little cup. Okay. Hopefully that's enough paint now. Might top a little bit more yellow. Oh no, I won't be able to flip them over if I've got too much paint on there. So I'm going to flip 4 on the bottom. Turn it around. Whenever I try and flip from across the canvas like that, I splurge everywhere, so I obviously need to have my elbow right in against my chest. And then it works. If I stretch all the way over here, I don't seem to get the same rhythm of flow and I make a mess. So that's what I do. Righto. So leave those there to sit for a minute. Colours are all global, turquoise and a black, aqua green, made that one myself, warm red as opposed to warm yellow, and the warm red is my background colour, made a little bit thinner as I said earlier, and some white. So those are the colours. Now what I'm going to do is, do you want to see this? I'll show you what the consistency is. So this is the background, it's a little bit thinner. Still leaving a tiny little wriggle of a mound on top there. Not as thick as I would normally use for a flip cup pour. Gives a little ribbon. Okay. I don't want it to be too watery, but then I don't want it to be too thick either. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit of this, because this one's going to come down to here. So I'm just going to do this. That's kind of what the, I think that's where the flip cup's going to go. That one's going to go down there, that one's going to go up there, that one there, so forth. And then I'll tilt and blend all of those lines together, but I do want those nice blocks of orange. And I've left enough paint in the cup that I can add more to later, because this won't be quite enough. Right, so I'll flip these down and then I'll have to turn it and flip the other way, and other ones the other way. It's not that easy to flip these little tiny guys. Oh, it's a lot of white. Right, leave you, come back to you, do this one. Woo. Okay, I'll turn around. I did one of these just before and I used brown, chocolate brown, instead of the black. Ugh, did not like that at all. Where's all my turquoise? Put heaps of turquoise in there. There's some there, not much there. Did I have the turquoise in the bottom? I must have. In the bottom of the cup. Must have had white. Did I have white and then turquoise? Kind of losing the turquoise in the pour. That'll do. Hopefully I'll get purple cells, not purple. I said purple? Turquoise. Where am I getting purple from? Stack those up, I'll wash those little cups and I'll use them again. Let's get them on eBay, little medicine cups. Rightio. Now I'll do some tilting. Look at all the bubbles, heaps of bubbles. Do some tilting, try and cover the canvas, and I can always add some more red if I need to. I'll try and get a bit of movement, try and stretch the paint, blend the colours a bit. So I don't want it to be, I mean I do want stripy, but I want it sort of a bit more flowing as well. If I can have both, I'd like both. I want some more red on this side. I don't want to lose all that red, so I'm going to pop a little bit more here. So I've got a red edge there. And I can always paint some red on the side there later on. And this little corner here needs some red too. Okay. That'll do. I'll torch it and then I'll turn it and tilt the other way. Not getting much in that middle bit there in the turquoise. Mix maybe a little bit on the thick side. Alright, let's go. Looking a little bit thick to me. The paint's moving really quite thick, slowly, and my cells are not really keeping their round shape because the mix is a bit thick, so they're kind of stretching out. It's a fine line with your consistency. Too thick and they don't stretch well and they kind of go oblong. And too thin, they just break and stretch really easily. So it's a fine line. Now I'm just going to pop some red here because I can't get over to that little area. Cover my sides with red. Loving this red. It's an orangey red really, it's not red. And then I need a little bit of green just there. And then I'll get my tool, just run down on the bottom there. Get our little drips. Oops, I'm missing a bit of turquoise just from there too. Pretty much covered. It's not as flowy as I was expecting, and that's because my mix is a little thick. I don't think I better move it anymore. I'm just going to ruin it. Let's bring the weight back to the middle just a touch and leave it there. Okay, so it's quite stripy. I kind of was expecting it to be a little bit more fluid, but that's because as I said, my mix is a bit thick, so it hasn't moved as much as I would have liked it to. Not loving it, not loving it. I am going to add some water to this red and I'm going to swipe it. Yes, I am. And I'm going to do it from the other way. So if there's a pore that you don't like, try and rescue it a little bit with the swipe. But your swipe colour needs to be a little bit thinner than your other colours, so I'm just adding a little bit more water to this. So now it's not leaving a mound at all. I'm just going to grab my bit of plastic. There it is, a sheet of plastic. Leave that there for a minute. I guess I could do black as well, but hey, I always swipe with black. Let's try red. See how red goes. Just pop a little bit there. into the red. Don't go right up to the very edge of the canvas because it could make the very edge a bit bald. There we go. I don't think I've ever used this colour to swipe with before. I did a red swipe, my oriental red swipe, a while back, but that was more of a bright red, not this orangey red. Okay, now we do some torching. Reminds me of a circus tent. Not quite sure how it's going to turn out because when I do swipes, all my mixes are thinner. I do 1.5 parts pouring medium to 1 part paint. And these were all mixed up 1 to 1, so my cells are going to be a little bit smaller. Whoops, got too close there. Trying not to get too close. Now where the red is quite thick at the top there, I won't get any cells. But I will just grab my balloon and just do some dipping across the top there. Or maybe not, maybe we can just leave it, hey? I just don't like how you can see the colour underneath the red there, so that's the reason for my dipping. Just grab my glove. Quite like the colours though, they're only little cells. Because my paint's thick, I'm only going to get little cells. But let's do some balloon dipping. So I'm just holding the fingers out of the way, and just put my finger under that knot there. So I'm not going to dip the knot into the painting. And as you can see, the paint doesn't run straight back onto itself as easily as it does when I use a thinner mix. Is it pretty, aren't they? I'll just do 4, and then I may just do a couple down here as well, just to blend them all together, even it up a little bit, I guess. Haven't got my paper towel down there. I'll have to go and get some paper towel, put it down here. Or maybe I should just leave it like that. Actually, you know what I'll do is, I'm going to get the paper towel first, put some down here. And then I'm going to do some bigger balloon dips across the top and some little ones in the middle. And see how that goes. So if you want bigger ones, just push harder with your balloon. Push further down like that, as far as you can go, and you'll get a bigger balloon. Oh, you'll get a bigger dip like that, bigger flower. So I'll do that all the way along, and those can spread out a bit more. And they're actually incorporating some of these lower cells, which is pretty, which is making petals. So I think that's a better idea. So I'm just pushing down as hard as I can. So that's the top layer there. And then I think I'll just do maybe 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, I don't know. Now see where this block of red is? There's no colour under that, so there's no point me balloon dipping into that because I'm not going to get much. I'm just going to get red under there, so I think I'll do one sort of maybe here, here and here. Just a little one though. See if we can just do a cute little one. See how the paint's come back into the middle there? It's because there's a lot of paint there. So I'm just pushing down very lightly just to make a little flower. So I've got the big ones at the top there, and these ones can just be the little baby ones. But there's a lot of paint coming back into the middle, so I need to go again. Try and get some of that paint off the surface. If you've got time to wait, dog's under the table. If you've got time to wait, you know, wait maybe 4 hours until your paint started to thicken a little bit, and then dip. And I think you'll get a better result because there won't be so much paint on the canvas there. It'll have started to dry. But because I'm not waiting, I'm just going to go again and take some of the paint off. Easy, stop carrying on, please. So just taking a little bit more paint off. Don't go too far. See, I've gone a little bit too much there, and that's going to go down to the canvas there. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to go into one of these, get some paint on the bottom of my glove and do that, just to put that paint back again. So if you've gone too many times and your canvas is coming through, you can see the bare canvas, pick up some paint from one of your others that's got lots and just go straight back into the one that's missing paint, and you can salvage it that way. So I think I'm going to just leave it there. We have to learn when to stop, don't we? Get rid of that. Take you in for a close-up. And I think it's kind of saved. I'm not going to keep it. I'll scrape it, but yeah, it's all right. Just for a play, hey, an experiment. Pulls don't always work out, that's for sure. But if you learn something from it, and maybe, you know, do a swipe or a dip, see if you can salvage it. You never know, you might be able to. And even if you don't, you've learned something. You've had an extra play. You know, I did the flip and drag, and then I did a swipe, and then I did the balloon. So I've done 3 different techniques in the one painting there. So I've got some little tiny cells. Because my mix was thicker, 1-to-1 mix, that's why my cells have stayed small, because they've popped up and they've got a lot of resistance around them from the thick paint, so they haven't been able to spread out. If your mix is thinner, like I normally do a 1.5 pouring medium to 1 part paint with my swipes, when the cells pop up, there's not as much resistance on them. They can spread out and they get bigger. And that's why you get bigger cells if your mix is thinner. So there you go. I actually quite like that red colour that I swiped with. So anyway, I'll put the video up and you guys can have a laugh at me, my fail. I do have fails, I do. Will do. Alright, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've learnt something. I'll see you for the next one. Bye for now.